All right, so tell me if I get the question right again. So the question was like some sort of coordination issue arises and you can't get the technique.
Yes, Sensei.
If you want to elaborate, go ahead.
It's what it feels like. I don't know if it's because I'm just tensing up.
Okay, so we have tension there.
Hi.
Okay. Here's some things to note. All right. Jiu-jitsu. Well, we're just going to call it by its modern nomenclature, Jiu-jitsu. Okay. So Aikido is a Jiu-jitsu. Okay. There's a lot of people that want to draw distinctions, between the do ending and the jitsu ending and stuff like that. It's historically inaccurate. Okay. The idea that you could use a martial art as an equivalent to Buddhist training, preceded the formation of the Budo in Japan. So Aikido, Kendo, Kyudo, Judo, those things. Do you understand that? And trying to draw a distinction between the Jiu-jitsu is like hardcore, it's all martial, it's just martial, and the Do arts are spiritual. This is not true. This is inaccurate. Okay, do you got it? So there were many different arts. They go by many different names, but at the same time, they're not really sharing the same kind of genealogical branch of karate, you see. So these arts that have a common genealogy that go by many, many names, we're just going to use the modern nomenclature as Jiu-jitsu. And Aikido is a Jiu-jitsu, okay? These arts are an extension or an alignment, they're an extension of or an alignment of early Chinese thought, and in particular, the idea that there is a kind of identifiable nature. Things in alignment with that nature are better than things out of alignment with that nature. Okay? So your Jiu-jitsu shares this genealogy, and therefore it's going to use natural movements, not unnatural movements. So it's going to work with how your body works, not only in terms of the mechanics of, say, for example, the elbow joint. Do you see that? But you will do things, you will share movements with other ways that you move outside of a martial context. Do you get it? So I want to drink water. Do you see? I want to drink water, or I want to get the crap out of my hair. Do you understand? So he's here, and I want to drink water. Boom! And I'm drinking water. Do you see? I want to get the stuff out of my hair. Boom! It's natural. Okay. I want to kick. It's just an extended step. Okay. So I don't want to kick like this. My foot follows a natural direction with no deviation. If you walk like this, I guess that would be in coordination with this. But if I'm just walking, a kick is a natural extended kick, foot walk. Do you get it? So we won't do this stuff. We don't do that stuff, okay? There's just the slight knee bend of the walk keeps its place, and if I want it higher, the hip lifts that this way, okay? Etc. I stand, I have a natural stance, you see. I'm not going to, do this stuff or this. I'm not going to do that, okay? Which is why you can practice your jiu-jitsu for a very, very long time, because it doesn't require an excessive flexibility or mobility. Do you understand? Okay. And that is why usually when you can't do the move in a way that you would describe as a coordination problem, there's only two reasons why. You walked here in a very unusual way. Do you get it? Or you're not doing the move as it is prescribed. Okay? Well, you walked here in a very natural way, do you see? Common with a bipedal organism, and common with how everyone walked here within some sort of spectrum, do you see? So I'm doing it incorrectly, not in accordance with this natural way. Do you see that? Okay, and so, there's only so many reasons why, okay? But they all come to the same place, all right? So as I watch your technique and all of your techniques, it's very key to the tension that you're feeling. In other words, why can't I do an unnatural movement without the tension? It's always there. Do you see that? It is physiologically possible to do an unnatural movement without the tension, but we never do. Do you see that? So what we tend to think is we answer the horse and the cart riddle incorrectly. Do you see? It's because you're tense and you can't do a natural movement. Your tension and what causes the tension prohibits you in a very direct way, ultimately, from doing what would have been natural to you. Do you get it? So, for example, taking out all physiological deviation, and I'm in the spectrum of head, neck, shoulder area, we all generally look like this. No one did that. No one does this. Do you see? I did it. Do you get it?
Okay.
I do it out of fear. Okay? It's not that if I had a physiological thing where I keep doing it, that's one thing, but that's not what's happening. It's a fear response. It's an anxiety that happens. Okay? Well, if you look now for your whole technique and you look for the anxiety, do you see? You're going to see, even where you would not say you're tense and uncoordinated, you would see the anxiety. Do you get it? So he's from this side. He's gonna lay on me, and then lower. Do you see how I am? Does this look normal?
No.
No, it's like. Do you understand?
Okay.
Right? And then even let's say he's on the bottom, and I'm going to do the move, and I'm like. Do I look? If you take him out of the way, and you're like, Dave, make yourself comfortable. Feel free to lay on the mat. All right, I'm on. You would go, what is wrong with you? Relax. You're like, relax. Do you see that? Okay, so. Again, if you're tracking for anxiety, I don't have any anxiety right now. Okay? And then Sensei says, okay, we're going to work from side control. You see? Oh, God. That's not a normal mouth. I'm doing something. Do you see?
Right.
And then your guy comes on you, and you're like, it's Big Ronin. right? He crushes me. Look at me. Go. I'm ready. Do you understand? So, the anxiety has a catalyst. Do you get it? It's not natural. It's not constantly existing. It manifests in response to certain things. Okay? And if you track for the anxiety, you can track where where its genesis rests. Okay? And so here you are, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out what is going on, right? So depending on who's doing it, you can find common points of anxiousness, okay? So it might be the opposite gender because you still live dichotomously, do you see? It might be the same gender because you still live dichotomously, right? And it might be either a repulsion or an attraction. They're both dichotomous thinking. They're both going to generate the tension, do you see? Okay. You might have got crushed. They're heavy, do you see? And because you had someplace else you'd rather be. Again, dichotomous thinking, do you see? As opposed to, I'm fine. Dude, so you saw me doing the weight on him. He's basically breathing out of a snorkel. If you listened, right? It was all the... because he's being crushed. But did you see the tension in his body? It was like, talk as long as you want, I can breathe. Do you see? But most of us all know it's too much. That's not how I want to breathe. I want to breathe like this. And it causes tension. And now you can't breathe. You see? Today as I have taught the Newaza for a long, long time, the biggest obstacle is the same obstacle in Tachiwaza. It's this, that you always are tense and look to overpower, okay? Or look to not be overpowered. But the problem here is that these arts, these jiu-jitsu, don't work through overpowering or trying not to be overpowered. They work through non-contestation. And the only true non-contestation, it can only exist when you have reconciled dichotomy. So if you get triggered into a dichotomous mindset, by default, you cannot do Aikido. It is absolutely impossible. And don't forget, you can't do any of the arts that are of this genealogy. So while there's plenty of BJJ people that are hoofing and puffing and muscling everything, it's not BJJ. It's not. Just like contesting in your Aikido Kihon Waza, Tachi Waza, is not Aikido. It's crappy Aikido. Huffing and puffing and muscling in BJJ is just crappy BJJ. It's not, okay? So it's when we do these kind of very controlled Kihon Waza training, right? Or we string together some Kihon Waza, you have to monitor for anxiety and the dichotomy that is giving birth to it. And you have to use these opportunities where it's not live rolling, do you see? You have to use these opportunities to get used to what you'd rather be abhorred by. Do you understand that? So when this guy comes, go ahead and do all your technique. You do it clean, okay? So you can already hear my voice change, do you see? And let's, for example, do your technique. Don't let me get you. Don't let me get you. Do you see? There's nothing I can do. Okay, and there's nothing I'm supposed to do in this Kihon Waza, do you see? So watch my whole demeanor start to change. Got it?
Okay.
If you want a reference point, you all know corpse pose. And corpse pose is this releasing. You can do corpse pose here. Okay? By letting this potential catalyst present itself and you release yourself from it. Okay? And I guarantee you, you will then find the natural way of moving. There's only one way that's going to make sense to you. Okay? It's your... And if you don't buy this, then you should not train in Jiu-jitsu, because this is the genealogical source of Jiu-jitsu, is there's a natural way. And it's better to be in accordance with this natural way. The Tao. You see? If you don't buy that, nor do you buy that if you go out of accordance of it, then everything starts continually becoming more and more compounded negatively. If you don't buy that one, you should stop training. You can't do this. You don't have enough faith in this position on the nature of reality. Okay? So if you do have enough faith, then if I tell you, use the training to release yourself from the catalyst that's causing the anxiety, and you will find the technique, because there will be no other way that your body will want to move. Do you see? Right now it wants to move differently because you will not free yourself from the catalyst of the anxiety. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. So that is how I would answer your question. You want to fix your technique, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not going to be a matter of going, put your knee here, put your foot here. Because we had advanced students over you telling you that. It doesn't work, okay? It goes deeper. The problem is deeper, which is precisely why a martial art can be an equivalent to the Buddha's path.